All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? What do you do, players? It's your boy Cousin Roy here. So today we'll be talking about who are the best teams in the East and best teams from the West, based on what we have seen so far from the season opening matches. So I'm gonna bring in please welcome my guests Joe and Daku. What's happening, players?
Lads,
Hello.
are you having a good time?
Man, I'm gonna do two shows today, and I want to know if you guys
Woo!
are free. If you guys are free, so we can do another NBA show tomorrow. I would just we can just do like a season review or whatever, any random stuff. But this one today will be. I think this will be nice. This will be a good one to start with, because later on as we go on, it'll get better. Okay, so let's see. Give me a few seconds. Okay, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joe's picks to go out of the East, the top teams to go out of the East. So he has listed Nets, Bucks, Heat, and Hawks. So, well, Nets and Bucks played the first game. Bucks won. I thought it was a nice game. Kind of revealed a lot of the flaws that Nets had. We'll get to that in a bit. Heat and Hawks, huh? Okay, I tell you what. Why don't we just jump? Nets and Bucks I can kind of feel, but I would love to know why Heat, bro. Really?
It's me, is it?
Yeah, you, Joe.
Um, I think I value coaching, consistencies, and good defense. And I think that winning mentality is quite important. So Heats where they've got Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Ben Adebayo. They all want to win a championship really bad, and they've got discipline. So it comes down from head front office, coaching staff, and players. So I think it's quite important. And just from today's game, you can see that what's Hero, because I think he's the X factor. If he can play well, then I think he would have a chance of at least probably get into the Eastern Conference final. Well, obviously, everyone has to stay healthy, and because there's a lot of uncertainties, I think this year I think it's quite open. Nets has um, Kyrie, he may or may not play for the entire season. But I think they are a really good team, and I feel like they believe they can win because they won last year, so they have full confidence. But I think um, you know say anything can happen. If there's injury, say Drew Holiday, he sort of injured his heels like that game, then everything changed.
Okay.
So I think Heat will have a good chance in the East because they play as a team, and then I like their next man approach. Someone missed the game. There's always that continuity. Someone who can just step in and play. So I think they definitely has a chance.
So you said you favored good coaching, right?
Hmm.
So Eric Spoelstra, do you still rate him as a coach who can take this team right now? Let me see. Oladipo, injured, Kyle Lowry, Markieff Morris, Bam, Tyler. So you said Tyler Hero is the key, yeah?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you really, Doc, what do you think about Eric Spoelstra? You rate him as highly as Joe?
I think Spolster is one of the best coaches in the league. I think
Wow.
arguably the brother,
I need to take notes. Huh.
arguably the brother is as good, if not better, than Popovich. There's a controversial take, right? He's disciplined. He's hard nosed. He's got an amazing way with the players. He holds them to account, and it's emblematic, I think, of the scrappy, tough, no nonsense culture that they've developed, and he's been the heart and center of it. I think he's an amazing coach, and it also doesn't hurt that he's a Pinoy brother as well, representing. You know what I'm saying? He's got the seasick on the side, man. There's a bit of seasick. a bit of a
Right?
double on the side. He's doing it.
He say NBA is the shit, man. God, I miss that. So okay, so you actually rate him quite highly, huh? And with this team, like if Tyler Hero, the only thing I heard lately about Tyler Hero is how he's gonna go bankrupt soon. The way he's spending money on his baby mama and all this nonsense. But
I
that's
tell you
interesting.
who's going to be bankrupt soon, brother.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Ben
the
Simmons, mate.
you saw that thing about Ben Simmons, yeah. All these guys using
In the
about
first 4 years, he made about 6 to 8 mil a year, right? Last year was
yeah.
the first year that he made big money. He spends and he spends hard.
Span, man. That guy party. He doesn't really work on his game much. And okay, Tyler Hero, huh? Bro, how do you think? What do you think about Tyler Hero, dog? You think he's like the key?
I think he's a good player. I'm not completely sold on him yet. I think they rated him really, really highly 2 years ago. Last
Mm.
year, a bit of a setback.
Bit
If
dull.
we've been honest, but look, the season's early, anything can happen, and typically young players, this is a good time to actually go and step up, and actually, the third, fourth player year, they usually step up in a big way if they've got it in them to take the next level.
Joe, I want to ask, Joe. Sorry, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add. So what Miami is lacking is scoring. They've got really good defenders, Jimmy Butler, Lowry, and Bam. So they can all, got pretty much all positions. But they need to be able to score. So that's why I think Hero, even though he's off the bench, I think he has a really good chance to win the Sixth Man of the Year. If he can score 20 points a game, keep his efficiency up, and also I think with today, as an example, that Lowry tweaked his ankle, he was missing part of the game. He could become a facilitator as well, so he can play that point, scoring point, or just a facilitator. So I think he's a key for Miami. So if he can play well, I think Miami will become a really good team.
Just for the record, in case anybody watches this later, in today's game against Milwaukee, right? Tyler Hero scored 27 points. He had 10 field goals made. He scored 55.6% from the field. He made 4 threes. What else am I looking at here? Free throws made 3 out of 4. Offensive rebound 1, 5 defensive rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers. And in 24 minutes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep mind of that. Now, Joe, now talk to me about Hawks, please.
Hawks, yeah. Hawk is my dark horse. I really like the way that Hawks assemble the team. Right, they draft Trae Young. Even though they are not really a large market, but they're willing to spend. They've signed a lot of quality players. I wouldn't say they are all stars, but their team is very, very deep. If you look at today's game, for example, everybody plays mid 20 minutes, right? They don't, and Trae Young didn't really have a game. He really struggled with shots, but it doesn't really matter. So they basically, everyone can score, can shoot. They've got quality wing who can defend. And I think Trae Young is really an underrated leader. If you look at last year, playoff, the way he played in against Knicks, he's not afraid of big stage, right? I think with another year, I think because last year they had a lot of injuries.
True.
A lot of people who just missing games, so they couldn't really build any chemistry. So this year, Cam Reddish came back, Hunter came back. They still got all those they're starting 5. I think they're quite healthy at the moment. So they re-signed Herter. So I think they have no problems, winning games regular seasons. And so I think they will be able to get into the top 4 because just the way that Philly say if Ben Simmons is not playing,
Ah,
that they may drop out of the top four. And then they just behind basically Nets, Miami, and Bucks, right? So, and when they get into playoff, I think Trey Young would basically, I think he play a bit like Mike, and he just got a mentality. He do whatever to win, and he's got a good team to support him. So I think everything, assuming healthy and then with a bit of luck, I think they have a chance to get in the final.
if like who would who would you think would be apart from like Trey Young? That would, because okay, I'm looking at this list here, right? They had added Lou Williams. They said there's not a
Hmm.
resign Huerta. Danilo Gallinari didn't really play much last year, but Bogdan Bogdanovic, Clint
Yeah,
Capella, John
yeah.
Collins. Before the season started, right? I read some articles where some people were saying that one of the persons to look out in this team was Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure, man. You got any thoughts on this, guys?
Um, I think Cam Reddy had a really good game day.
Yes.
Um, but I don't think they need a particular player, right? They are 10 men deep. You look at every
Mm.
position, right? So obviously got a starting five. And even their bench, right? You look at Herter, long right, Cam Reddish, Alinari,
So Dylan, right? Yeah.
Boji Den. They all really solid players or solid role player, and some can even star in other team. So even if there's injuries, I think they can recover from it. And then they've got consistency as well, right? So they basically had the same thing from last year. It's just that people become more healthy. And then I think the coach, what's his name? Yeah, coach is also really really good. And then so I think a bit like Miami. I think I'm really high on
Nate
Atlanta.
McMillan. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see. So because Trey Young is only what 23. I'm looking here, 1998. Cam
hmm,
Reddish, 1999, is 22, and John Collins, 2017, 24. Man, that's crazy, man. That's like a really
yeah.
super young team. Now, what do you think about the Atlanta Hawks? Dog, you there?
Yeah, man.
What do you think about the Hawks?
I'm surprised how far they moved last year. I was surprised they got through Philly. I mean, Philly had a meltdown. I was surprised that they actually pushed the Bucks a little bit.
Mm.
So it was a nice team. I'm not completely sold. I'm not sold at the moment. I think they overachieved last year. I think they'll drop back this year. They're a good team. They're a good young coming team. They've re-signed. They've got Lou. They've got a nice team. I'm just that. Yeah, that's not my sleeper.
So you feel that the Hawks? Do you think that the Hawks can make it into the playoffs?
Yeah, no, they're definitely a playoff team. They're
So
definitely
it's
a
definitely a
playoff team.
playoff team, huh? But
Whether they'll be challenging for the top three, top four in the East, I'm not sure because the East is hard this year. They've got, it's I think the West, so many injuries and things like that. The West have stabilized. It's more even, but the East is hard. I think this
so
year.
talk to me. So you and Joe both had Nets and Bucks. I didn't put Nets in mine. I had Bucks in mine, but I'll come to mine afterwards. So
Sure, sure,
talk
sure.
to me about the cells, bro. Like
Oh
Al
man,
Horford is still not
I'm
played yet.
telling you,
Robert
mate.
Williams. Yeah,
The
yeah. Go ahead.
sleepers. This is the sleeper team for me in the East, man. They're the winningest team in NBA history.
All right.
I'll give you also give you another controversial take. This is my view of how things are going to play out with them. So it's a rim shot, right? I reckon that Jalen Brown will take over and become their franchise player.
Jalen Brown.
I think he's got more
Overrated.
upside.
Ah.
I think he's got more upside in him than Tatum does. He's better defender, better shooter, just as versatile, just only a little bit smaller. But I think he's going to rock it. I think what's important to me is respecting the rubbish that people throw out from other teams. And what I mean by that is I think they've got two players that has things to prove and that are going to have really big years this year. I think that's going to be Horford. I think he played really well when he was under the Celtic system previously. I think he will gel well with the players. He's a good vet presence. I think he still has things to add in terms of the shooting, and his defense is still pretty good. I think he's going to do really well. And I think the Joker, Dennis Schroeder, who threw a guaranteed contract, is also going to have a really good year this year.
He ended up with 8 million only. He was almost going to get paid 30 a year, right? He was asking for that anyway.
Yeah, so I think Dennis Schroeder will play well this year. I think he's got something to prove. I also like my brother from another mother, Robert Williams III.
That's our guy.
Beast,
yeah,
man.
that's our fantasy guy. Did you took him right in our Talk to me. How has he been doing?
He's doing well. He played well. Was it
46 minutes?
Woo!
Double overtime.
Yeah, man.
He had against New York, right? He had 40. Yeah, you're right. 16 points, 5 field goals made. He made all his field goals, 100%.
Yeah, a lot of blocks as well.
Wow. He had 3 offensive rebounds, 7 defensive rebounds for 10 total, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 steals and 5 blocks. Wow.
Hello and hello again, man.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Good night, Irene. What a knockout punch, man. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. So I think, I like the brother. He's cheap as well. That's why I reckon I have, here's a controversial take. I have the Celtics as being the 3rd best team in the East. And they'll give the Nets a run for their money.
Wow, 3rd best, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
So we're in your case, it's Nets, Bucks, and Celts. Just for fun, huh? Who would fill up the top 6? Like, I can name out the teams if you want. Like, just for fun. Joe, so you can pick. I just want to curious. So both your
for me, I think Philly will be there as well. I think they'll probably be 4th. Then I have the Hawks.
Okay, Hawks, yeah.
And then I have Atlanta.
Okay. Atlanta, you mean same
as Hawks.
Oh, sorry, not Atlanta. Indiana.
Indiana. Oh, really?
Indiana. That's my 6.
So let me get Nets and Bucks. The Celtics.
Philly.
Hawks. Sorry, Philly.
Hawks.
Last one.
And then Indiana.
Joe, besides your 1 and 2 Nets and Bucks, your 3rd Hawks. Who are your 4, 5, and 6?
I think I would still go with Philly. Probably Miami 4th.
Miami 4th.
Actually, no, Miami 3rd. So I have Nets, Bucks, Miami,
Hawks,
Philly, and then the last one is I will probably still go for Celtics.
Okay.
But I think Knicks. I think Knicks will still do well.
The Knicks, huh?
Yeah, okay. Because they are a better team than last year. With Fournier and Walker, right? It's a upgrade, right? And then they've got the same team, same coach. I think they will grind their way through and then get a good seed. But I'm hoping that everyone can stay healthy because they have played big minutes.
You just since we were on the Knicks, actually Knicks was my sleeper. Yeah. So and by the way, Nets is not in my best of the East team. I'm like,
That's a
screw the
winning top
Nets.
hot take,
Straight
man.
up, bro. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna say I'm taking center stage right here. Taking center stage. I'm taking center stage. Right. I'm thinking the Nets are gonna freaking implode. They're gonna blow up. The brains matter is gonna be all over the floor. It's gonna be a bloodbath. They are not gonna be able to figure out what's going on. The other day, that game, I was a bit surprised. There's one player I came in under my purview last year because of fantasy. His name is Bruce Brown. The fellow was playing okay last year. I'm surprised he didn't play any minutes the other day in that game. And I don't know why they played all these other players. I don't want to get too much into it, like, they played all these other players. So seems to me they're not really sure what they're doing. I have a feeling they'll implode. I find like if you want to go to the playoffs and be well and be consistent, and win, there must be something special there. There's nothing special about the Nets right now except for the fact that they got big star players there. So my number one was Bucks. Hang on, my number one was Bucks. My number two was Philadelphia. For I feel like Embiid and Co can just kill it this year. Simmons can go and sit in the toilet and do whatever he wants. I think the team can do well without him because Tobias is still there. Shake Milton is injured. When he comes back, he'll be there. Tyrese Maxey, what is going on with this young man? Nice. So give the young guys a chance. Like if Embiid is like a solid leader now, Tobias is always there backing him up. I love Tobias' demeanor. So they are my number two. Bucks number one, Philly number two. My sleeper is the New York Knicks. Right now they are in third place, but I think the Knicks don't have pressure. They can just go out and play freely. They've been shit for so long. Stephen A. Smith will continue pulling his hair. The hairline will continue receding as long as the Knicks are playing.
He's
But
going to go from the back to the front.
he's
as well,
going,
man.
he's going to start. Stephen A. is going to
Meets,
start from
meets
the
in the middle, man. Meets in the middle.
Yes, we're going to start from the back and come the front. So I feel the Knicks might have a chance to do well this year because the other one I was looking at the Wizards, but it's just early season. Cannot really say much about the Wizards. I'm not sure how well they will do. So I feel Knicks might be just based on the fact that I don't think there's any pressure on them yet. I think this year Julius Randle might want to play, a little bit better. They reached the playoffs last year, even though no one put any stock in them. So yeah, hopefully they make it. To round out my top six, this one a bit hard because we just thought of it now. But so 1, 2, 3, Bucks, Philly, Knicks. I'll put Hawks number 4. I want to put, I don't know, man. Okay, I'll put Hawks number 4. Number 5, I think I'll put Celtics. Okay, number 5, I'll put Celtics. Number 6, I'm just going to throw it there, just so it comes out of left field. But I'm going to say Charlotte because I think LaMelo is playing very well now. I got Hayward in my fantasy. I'm happy Rozier is injured, so I get most of the points. But I thought I saw
Man,
that game.
Hayward delivers.
Sorry, bro.
Hayward delivers, man, from a fantasy
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
He's a good player. He's a good fantasy player.
yeah. So I want to throw Charlotte in there as my 6. So we got Bucks, Philly, New York, Hawks, Celtics, and
Throwing
Charlotte.
Cleveland, man.
Charlotte. I was thinking Cleveland, bro, but that day I saw the way they were playing. I haven't seen a team play with 3 big guys like that so much, because I took Mobley in my team. So I said, okay, let's watch this game. I saw Laurie, Jared, and Mobley on the court at the same time. I'm like, yo, what's going on here, man?
You don't see that often, huh?
Well,
Last time you saw that was in the 1990s.
when the Spurs were playing. So yeah, okay. So let's move on to the West. So Joe, if you have yours, you can let me know. I can get it on the out here.
Where is this interesting? Okay. Let's do...
Best in the West. Is the West. Which side is harder this year? You guys think East or West? You always say East, but what do you all think?
I think West is harder.
West is
for me.
harder, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm
Because
guessing you all have.
it's just so wide open.
Yeah.
Just don't know who's I think it seems like every team has chance.
Okay, I got you. You can I can go ahead.
Yep. You want to start?
Yeah, you go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so the three teams I have, I will have Phoenix Suns number one, Los Angeles Lakers number two, and then my sleeper pick will be Golden State Warriors.
Right.
Um,
Sleeper Golden State Warriors. Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah,
spicy. So spicy. It's spicy on the
yeah,
way in. It's
I love
spicy
it.
on the way
On the way
out.
out. I love any Golden State Warriors fans here. Hit us up in the comments, man. What you think? Joe, take it away. Go ahead.
yeah. Well,
I love it.
I think I value the whole team chemistry, and you need to have a great leadership and good coaching. So I think Suns fits into that criteria. People think they overachieved last year, with all the injuries. But I don't see it that way. I think they signed Chris Paul, they re-signed Mikal Bridges, and then I think Devin Booker is gonna have a big year. I Because I think he learned quite a bit from Chris Paul, and also from he played in Olympics. I think he's hungry, and then he I think he learned quite a bit from those great players. So I think he will take his game to the next level. Hopefully, into that MVP conversation at some point. So I think because again they are really deep team as well. They should have no problems, in games during regular season. And I think what's the center's name? Yeah, Aiton. Even though he hasn't got his extension, his contract, but he's got to prove. So I think he's gonna be very, very. He's got a lot of motivation to play well.
Before you move on
And
to the Lakers,
yeah,
Joe, how do you think of Phoenix first game? I'm only asking because they lost.
well, it's I think because Devin Booker didn't play well. Who
That's
did they
true.
play in?
Here, I have it here. Sorry. Denver.
Denver.
Denver Nuggets.
Yeah,
110 to 98.
is it in playing Denver or play in Phoenix?
I played in Denver.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm not surprised. It's really it's a very tough
Good team.
environment. In Denver, it's just attitude is very high, and then they haven't, because this is the first time they actually play in the arena for in 18 or 20, 18 months. So there's a lot of that adjustment. I think first 2 weeks I wouldn't looking. I mean, I think all the teams and players will take a while to get into that groove. So
True.
yeah, I think they would it will take them a few games, but I think they start play better. It's a long season, 82 games.
Okay. And okay, that's Suns. Now Lakers. Okay, I like Lakers. I'm a LeBron guy. But talk to me about Lakers, bro. How come you feel that they can still make it?
Well, I think because they how they have you seen that top 75 of all time ranking that just came out
Oh,
yesterday or today?
yeah, I saw the video,
They
but I
had
didn't see the full thing.
Yeah, they Lakers have four out of the top 75.
Where does Westbrook rank?
I think they don't put ranking. They just do alphabetical
okay.
order.
Sure.
But but Westbrook is in there.
I mean, without
I'm
a doubt, man.
surprised.
Without a doubt.
Well, he hasn't won championship yet.
That's the thing, right?
I'm surprised he's in there.
You're
But
surprised that a brother for 3 seasons averaging a triple-double is in there.
I think it's come down to
yeah,
that whole selfish nature of the personal stats only. He hasn't won. I also feel he's the top 75 best players ever in the NBA, Russell Westbrook.
Without a doubt for
yeah,
me.
but
Without a doubt.
yeah, but even that he did that, he's not even a top 2 round players in fantasy.
Yes,
He's
that's
not a
true.
what?
He never went
Yeah.
even in the first 2 rounds of fantasy.
He
Didn't go.
year-end
Even in ours.
ranking. He probably get drafted in the first or second round, but he never finished in the
Sure.
top 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
because he's so inefficient. Both, or he used to be very good with free throw, but not anymore. And he just can't shoot three. A lot of turnovers, right? But
Lot of
he's
turnover.
got rebound assists and points. But it's he had to then thank up to his teammate, letting him get all the rebounds.
True.
I think
That's
I
another
think I
spicy
think
one, man. You're throwing
Dude,
out
I love
spice
this. I love this. I love this. I love
left,
this.
right, and center,
I'm loving
man.
this.
There's
I'm fucking
gonna
yeah.
loving
be
this.
hell to
Yeah.
pay afterwards, man.
But in saying that, right, I still think he will play better, right? I mean, his first game in Laker uniform wasn't great, I have to say.
Yeah, they
But
said he was under pressure and all that, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, but I think he'll get better. Um, I think well, it's they've got so many new players. They changed they've got a totally new identity. So it took them a while to figure things out. But they still have LeBron. I think LeBron still played. I think from
Playing
his
well.
first game, he still can play like MVP. And then I think I'm very high on AD this year. I dropped him.
Mm. Oh, you got him, man.
I,
Mm.
yeah, I got him. So I think as long as those two, they play at a high level, I think Lakers still has a chance. And then in Western Conference, right? I think there's still a lot of Kawhi is injured, Murray is injured,
Amazing, yeah.
and so I think Lakers uh, probably one of the favorites to win in the
Okay.
West.
Or why did you go sleeper GS Golden State? I thought Golden State was like a shoe-in thingy, shoe-in guys.
Um, well, because if you look at the first two games they play, right? Steph Curry, I think he might be he can win an MVP this year. If Golden State can win enough games, he just unstoppable. He just such a great shooter, and then they've got obviously Draymond. I think he still can defend at a really high level. And Jordan Poole, I'm really high on Jordan Poole this year.
Oh, I see.
He
Sorry, Joe. So I understand because sleeper because last year they weren't really up to par. I keep thinking Golden
because
State.
because
Yeah, yeah,
people think Clay is out. The Wiseman is not working out, so
yeah.
they don't think Golden State can
Wiseman's
make
not
it. But
working out.
He hasn't done that well. I mean, first two games so far.
he just not ready. He's too young. And then I guess his style of play doesn't really
That's
fit into Golden State's system. He doesn't know how to play with Curry, I think. So last year, when they start Wiseman, when he's on the court, basically Golden State they lose all the games, right? When he's off the court, when he was injured last year, then Golden State made the run last year. So I think this year Wiseman is not playing. He's injured.
he hasn't played.
So I
Yeah,
think
correct. Yeah, you're right.
they will win. They will play well, and hopefully by January when Clay comes back, I think Clay will take him a while to get his legs back and all that. But they still have Jordan Poole. They've got Wiggins. I think Wiggins played quite well with Golden State, and I think they got who did they sign?
Otto
Belisa. Otto Porter, Belisa, right? What's his?
Belica,
I
yeah.
can't pronounce. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Nemanja Belica, is it?
Nemanja
Yeah.
Belisa, yeah. I think his play style fits Golden State really well. So he can play their small five or stretch four, or he can become a six man. So it's a very versatile team. And as long as Steph being Steph, I think they can beat any team at any given.
All right. Nice. Okay. That's pretty good. Then this one, Doc, talk to me, man. Let me put you up here.
So I had Lakers, Golden State, and my sleep is Denver. Okay. So I'll tell you why Lakers first. I think the person that makes a huge difference this year isn't one of the starters, but he's actually, I think he's the second most successful Laker at the moment on the team itself. It's Mr. Playoff himself, Rajon Rondo, right?
Okay. All right.
I think he adds a lot to the team, especially in playoff mode. I think he gives LeBron and also Westbrook a little bit of relief at times when they need to go off. I also like the fact that they've got something to prove this year. And if you look at Westbrook, and I'm a Westbrook fan, if you look at where his last few transitions were, the first half of the season was difficult. He's integrating, right? And it is difficult, just like when you move companies and things like that. But just think, this is so much harder. He's integrating. But by the second half of the season, think of the Wizards. They made a run. Think of even think of the Rockets. They made a run towards the second half of the season. They started playing really well towards the end as well. And even when he was still at OKC, now didn't have good playoff success, but they integrated with Melo and Melo really well, and also PG.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll come good, Mr. Triple Double, top 75
Really?
player of
Yeah.
all time.
Okay. Okay. If you look at the LA team, and don't you think like maybe with all of them, their ages and all that, you think they can last all the way through the playoffs and to the finals? Like Rajon Rondo will need people to feed to, right? And I mean, let me just have a quick look at this. I'm wondering who they're going to feed the ball to kind of score. You got your two main guys, LeBron and AD. I agree with you that if they stay fit, yeah, they can probably go all the way. But Trevor Ariza is missing now. Chris Dunn now. What's his name? Kendrick Nunn. Chris Dunn.
None.
They've got
Kendrick
injury,
Nunn.
they've got injuries. They've got injuries concerns, but it's game 2 of the season, right? I'm not expecting them to do that well for the first half of the year. They'll be in the middle of the pack and things like that. But I think towards the end, and LeBron always comes through. They'll start picking it up.
Do you think they should play? Do you think they should play Rajon more instead of Russ? They always say Russ figures a way out, But do you think they should play Rajon more?
I think what would be interesting, and this is a controversial take, is to play Rajon at the 1 and Westbrook at the 2 at times during the games.
And that's confusing, or that doesn't work?
Who's going to space the floor?
Well, when he gets back, AD.
So like Carmelo, I don't know whether they can rely on him. Ken Bazemore, okay, Malik Monk, okay, maybe when he comes back from injury, let's see how he fits into the team. They had the feel good factor, Avery Bradley. I honestly, anyway, you'll see why I'm asking you this now when I give you my picks. But I don't know, man. I find it a bit hard.
Yeah. My biggest question for Lakers is just the last 5 minutes in the playoff game. Who on the court? Because LeBron and AD would definitely be there, but who else? If you put Russell Westbrook in there, he can't really do much because you're gonna put the ball in LeBron's hand, and AD, he can shoot 3, but he's not really a good 3-point shooter. Russell can't shoot 3.
Only Trevor.
Really.
He just came.
Trevor, but they've got.
Trevor's like 60 years old.
That's why.
Right. Carmelo as well, right?
Carmelo as
put
well.
DeAndre Jordan or Dwight Howard, right? So I know they pick out Avery Bradley, but I haven't seen him play for a while. I don't know how.
He played with the team 2 years ago, right? In the bubble, or
something like that.
He just
And then last year he didn't play at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, something.
and the rest, they've got a bunch of players, it's got potential, but don't have any playoff experience, right? Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk, um,
Yeah, Talon Horton
Brandon
Tucker,
Ellington.
He
big.
had
Yeah,
shown
it's
some
like it's like
improvement, but he's injured at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I heard your reasonings for why LA and GSW will be the kings over here in the West. But now talk to me about Denver, bro. I got Denver's list up here now. I want to see why
I
Denver. Doc,
I like Denver. I think they always play hard. Uh, the point guard's out and out for a large chunk, but I think they've got Jeff Green. Jeff Green's a good player. I think he gels with the team a lot. He's lengthy. He's long. He gives them options. I think Aaron Gordon's a good player
I like
as
Aaron Gordon. Yeah.
as well. Don't forget about Bol, man.
Yo, you must be joking.
Yo, man, that dude's
Yo,
got
you
X
must be
factor, man.
crazy. You
7-2, dude.
man, look,
7-2.
the last
As
game
Stephen
he
A
played.
says, you can't teach 7-2.
You play to win the game. Look, the last game he played was October 14. He played 31 minutes, 12 points, 12 points, 4 field goals made, 12 defensive rebounds, no assists, no steal, 3 blocks. October 14 in a preseason.
And
I'm
don't
out
forget
of here,
about
man.
the growth of Porter Jr. I think he'll take another really big step this year.
Michael, yeah.
I put them there as the sleeper because I think I think Porter Jr.'s probably got some X factor. Yeah, I don't believe in the Suns. I think they did for me. They overachieved. I think it's interesting with Aiton. Um, my take on it is that actually he does have a lot to prove, but he's actually under a lot of pressure as well. So
Mm.
he's the number one pick. All the brothers below him got max deals. He's under a lot of pressure. I'm not sure that he'll make it, but we'll see. I mean, that's interesting. But I think Chris Paul's a little bit older. Booker's I think is going to take another step, but I think Aiton. Well, here's my take. Aiton's going to go back this year. I don't think he's actually going to go forward. He's going to capitulate under the pressure, right?
Yeah, I heard a lot of them give a lot of props to what's his face, Aiton. But I had Aiton in the fantasy last year, and the team played well. And I'm still new to that fantasy thing. I didn't realize when you bring somebody bring a scorer in, the guy's production goes. It really went very badly from scoring like almost 30 points and double digit rebounds for fantasy wise, but for the game wise, it was good. I just felt a lot of the points came from the others. He'll have 1 or 2 games only that were high 20s, suddenly maybe a spurt here and there, but the rest were 16, 14 with 14 rebounds, maybe a block, and not much assist. So, yeah, you're right. It'll be interesting to see how he performs this year because they did it on purpose, not signing him, not giving him the contract. They said, okay, young man, you're 22 or 23, you go and prove yourself here, son. You know what I'm saying? We almost went there, we almost won. Everybody giving you high praise. Show yourself this season. Or maybe they know something we don't, maybe some injury thingy. So they're saying, okay, we won't give you first. But yeah, it's a lot of pressure on him, and I can understand because I also was a bit skeptical of whether I should put Phoenix as one of the best in the West. So now on that, yeah,
I'm not sure that he's a max player, to be honest.
yeah. Nowadays, because any guy who plays well in a playoff or something, immediately the conversation comes in whether he's a max player, which brings me to my sleeper picks in the West. So as you can see, I am not really sure about LA because of the age of the team and the injury proneness. I am not really sure about GSW also. I do not. I am basing all this on my heart and on on what I see, what I read, and what I interpret. I feel the guys who will be the best, or must forget the spelling. Who cares? The guys who will be the best here will be Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. I feel the Jazz. Um, Rudy Gobert will always be the main filler, but I think as a team, those guys are almost there, just never really make it. Almost there, just never really make it. Like the Bucks also took a few years to figure it out, but I think that last piece might have been Drew Holiday, right? What's his name? Drew Holiday. Uh, yeah, Drew
You,
Holiday.
you Utah Jazz?
No,
No,
Holidays
no, I
with the
meant
Bucks.
Gianni. The Bucks took some years to make it right, and they kept
Oh, right.
adding,
Yep.
adding, adding, adding. Finally, I think the piece that brought them the title might have been Drew Holiday, in my opinion, lah.
Yep.
So I feel like Nuggets and Jazz have been a team that have always built, have always done well. Golden State is like a team like Manchester United. No, they were ruling for a while, then they need to rebuild. Now they're having trouble rebuilding because the pieces are all falling apart with injuries, right? Then they trade guys they thought will come and do well, didn't do very well, like that boy last year. The supposed to be the 3 point with the blue eyes. I mean, I forgot his name, but he sucked. He was terrible. So they traded him. So I feel the top two guys will be Jazz and Denver. Like really, I think Jokic will be killer again. I think once the Will Barton might be there and to help him out and Porter and all that. But once Jamal comes back, easy. Jazz, yeah, Gobe and the other fellas, I think they can make it far. Really, I think they are the best too. Golden State Warriors, maybe I put them there because based on the way they've been playing now, I'm surprised to see like how Joe said just now. Jordan Poole is killing it because he has to fill that scoring void. But the other fellas seem to be coming up slowly, lah. Slowly, Andrew Wiggins all seems to be playing their role, seems to be okay. Draymond seems to be back in the groove. You know, he doesn't seem to be. You won't have like 2 for 15, 2 for 17, no that kind of nonsense anymore. So I think they seem to be scoring well. I feel they are a little bit more solid than the other teams in the West. My sleeper is LA. Okay, if they can stay injury free, if they can get their shit together, if they can play as a cohesive team, you can always put your money on LeBron to figure out a way. The coach Frank Vogel, I don't know because in teams with LeBron there, it's always like LeBron is calling the shots. So I feel in LA this year, it's a if, it's not a surety. The pundits and the big time pundits and the show in the ESPNs and CBS and all that will always blow up the Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. But I'm being very true to my heart and what I feel. It's not a sure thing. No
It's all
freaking
about
way.
Rondo, man. It's all about Rondo.
Yeah. So that's how I love listening to what you guys say just now. I loved it. I was like, oh, right. Because this is where I came from. And this is not just the last meeting we did today because we suddenly went on. I had already had this before. I just felt, I put Golden State last meeting. I just felt LA are not a surety.
Sure, sure, sure.
So, yeah, that's it.
Here's something interesting, and maybe we'll do a spin-off show on this, right? I think the most important player in the Bay Area is the triple single himself, the $100 million man, the man who used to be a triple double, now he's a triple single, Mr. Draymond Green.
We can do like a short, like a 10 minute segment, We can just come in quickly. In fact, we can do after this. Okay, guys. So I think as far as best of the West and the East goes, these were our picks for today. I hope you all enjoyed the show. It's a nice little chit chat. Please put in your comments, like and subscribe. And Doc and Joe, thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate it.
Adios.